Hi everyone and welcome to Facebook Live, our weekly support event. So glad that you are all here with us. For those of you who are here with us at this moment, I am, as always, joined by my long-term colleague and friend, Nancy Adamczyk. Say hi, Nancy.
Hello, Rick.
It's good to hear your voice, Nancy, even though we were on 4 meetings already today.
Yeah, we kind of live together, don't we?
We do. It's excellent. It's perfect. Great. Together, Nancy and I have cumulatively, do I even want to say this? Over 60 years of experience in the HMR program. Sorry, Nancy.
Don't say it.
I'm dating ourselves.
I know we are.
It's amazing how early in our lives we joined HMR, isn't it, Nancy?
Yeah, I was 10. How about you?
Yes, 8. You have me.
Yeah, you were younger than I was. Yeah.
Anyway, what we're going to do here is we're going to cram 60 years of experience into 30 minutes or less. That's our goal. Nancy, you're going to hold us to it this time.
Said it out loud, Rick.
I know.
Okay.
Hey, people are joining us already. Who is saying hi? Let's see. And
we got Mary.
Yep. Great.
And Jennifer.
Get some very familiar names, Mary and Jennifer. Yes. Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining us. I would also say, Nancy, just a quick hello to people who are not watching this live, but have chosen to spend their time, their video time, amidst all the other competing wonderful content out there, spending their time with us. So thank you for being with us, and we'd encourage you to stay with us for the full 30 minutes. 28 minutes. I'm really setting the bar, Nancy. Okay. Anyway, just to set the stage here, Nancy, stepping back for 2 seconds, the goal of these weekly live support events, of course, is to provide you with some extra support during this extended time of change. I mean, these are times of change. We are all dealing with so many unknowns and disruptions in our regular routines. We just really wanted to be there for some in-the-moment live support. So thank you for being here, and we hope that these brief, hopefully, weekly support events are helpful to all of you. So thanks again for being here. Has anyone else joined us here, Nance?
Yeah, here's one I love. Arlene, hello to Arlene. And then Dorothy was saying that she's just an hour after her Skype group meeting. So she's coming from her class and joining us here, which is wonderful.
Hey, that's great.
Kate, isn't that impressive?
I love that. The group that she usually works with has figured out how to do this over Skype. Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. It's just totally wonderful. Really, really great. All right. So, Nancy, interrupt me when people come in. I want to welcome people first and foremost. We're a community here, and let's make sure we represent, okay, as much as we can.
We got people coming in still. We've got Kate. Hi, Kate. And we've got Brian and Leslie.
Yep. Of course, the third iPad I have involved here is not showing me the posts, Nancy. I don't know why. So I'm going to not even bother. I'm going to let you represent the posts. Yeah. I need to know if Shane has joined us.
He just got here. He said his telephone class. He was on a class by phone. It just ended. He's here. Hi, Shane.
Hey, Shane. Awesome. I owe you an email. I will do tomorrow. Absolutely. Awesome. Yep. Nance. Let me just, for those, there were several people who were on our call last week and impressively hung with the call last week, despite the audio issues that we had. Messes. So at this point, I would like to do a formal mea culpa, a formal apology to none other than Nancy, my dear co-host here. During the many times when we were hearing feedback last week, and I leaned in and said, Nance, are you sure there's not any other device that's providing the feedback? Can you double check? It was my device. And then I would ask, Nance, can you listen closely to the speakers? And are we coming out on a 10-second delay? And it was my speaker that was doing it. So, Nance, I apologize profusely to you. Who would have ever thought that you could have a phone call while doing a Facebook Live and the two technologies would you could hear them both at the same time? I mean, can we pull up Netflix right now and watch a show while everyone hears it? I don't think so. So I sound like I'm making excuses. Never mind. Nancy, I'm sorry, and it won't happen again.
Yeah, it's all right. I was just very grateful that I kept wondering why I wasn't getting anywhere.
Oh,
So
dutifully assuming that it was your fault. It was unbelievable. Nancy, thank you. I'm so sorry, and I'm so sorry to all of you. If you hung in there, and a lot of people hung in there, it seemed like most people hung in there. Thanks, because I don't know about anyone else, but audio issues like that, I don't have much tolerance for it, so thanks, everyone. Before we jump into it, Nance, we're going to get right to it. Is there anyone else you want to say hi to who's joined us here?
Well, Sue's joined us. We have Lydia, who is Shane's one of the health educators with Shane, so she's here.
Oh, wow, excellent.
So continuing, can you get people on? Cool. If anybody else is on and wants to say hi.
Yeah, please, as you're tying it, say hi so we can know that you're here. All right, Nance, I'm going to cut right to it. Last week, we talked about one of the program basics, one of the program fundamentals. It's a commitment of the program, and on the face of it, it can seem kind of basic and not that interesting. Record keeping. And yet, we just touched on it last week, but hopefully, for those of you who were there, you saw that there really are levels to which you can keep records. And the higher your level of skill with your record keeping, this behavior of tracking your successful behaviors, the more you put yourself into the driver's seat of being able to use your records to greater effect to support either your weight loss or your weight management. That was sort of our takeaway there. There's always a next step to take with your record keeping. So, Nance, I thought the argument was compelling, and a few people actually took on the added accountability. Let me just quickly show you a picture for people who haven't seen it. Oh, of course, you're hearing PowerPoint not working. Here we go. There's Nancy. And Nancy, the added accountability people took on around something different with their record keeping. We challenged you last week to elevate your game in terms of this deceptively simple behavior of tracking your behaviors. So, Nance, people took on the accountability spotlight. Talk to us. Who took on what? And let's just see if we can get anyone who took something on to respond to whether or not you did it. No judgments. There's always this next week. That's the nature of this game. So go ahead, Nance.
Yeah, and I know we have at least 3 people here who committed last week. So I'm going to name the people that I saw, what they said, and then again, speak up if you are here. So we had Andrea, Sherry, and Nancy, and I know Nancy's here. We're going to download the app. That was your goal, to download it. I'd be curious if you did that and started using it.
So Nancy, did you download the app? Yeah, go ahead.
Karen and Linda both installed the app while they were on the Facebook Live. So, again, be curious if either of them started tracking with it.
Little multitasking during Facebook Live. That's okay. We like it. It's all in the same direction. Keep going.
Yeah, totally good stuff. We had Alice, who I know was on, and Mandy and Denise, who all made a commitment that they wanted to, they were keeping records, but they had a level of improvement that they wanted to do. And then finally, always. Shane.
Yes.
Shane, you admitted that you had, your records had fallen out and you were going to pick them up again.
Right.
So, Nancy has said that she used the HMR app for 4 days now.
Hey, perfect. Fantastic.
So she's up and running.
It's great. It's great. And as we had previewed last week very quickly, it's not just a great way to track your behaviors. There are some additional ways that you can use the app for some more advanced goal setting and follow through on what you're trying to do each week. Great.
Absolutely.
Really good. Really good. All right. Anyone else, or are we good on our little accountability spotlight?
I'm waiting to hear if either Alice or Shane wants to speak up and let us know.
Yeah. One of the things I would say, Nance, I know when you're coaching me and you challenge me to do something, obviously being in that accountability loop, it helps me to do the behavior. But there are clearly weeks when it just didn't happen. And we're very non-judgmental about that. These are new behaviors. So it's like, didn't do it that week, even though you said you were going to. Commit to doing it again, and commit to doing it again until you start doing it, and then start increasing the hit rate. And that's how you develop a habit. So no judgments, whether you did what you said you're going to do on this or not.
And before we move off it, I'll just say, Rick, that not doing something is often just as an important learning process as doing something. You learn what works and what doesn't work, and then you go back to the drawing board. You think, well, what would I need to do to try it again this week? And oftentimes after the second or third time, you do find something that works.
There's a lot to that point.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Okay, let me restate it in a single statement. Whether you are compliant or not on something you said you were going to do, there's always something to learn. If you did it, there's something to learn. Does that work for me or not? If you didn't do it, is there something to learn? What got in the way? Should I try it again? Okay.
Yeah.
Good point. All right, let's dive in here. We're going to talk about, drum roll please, the National Weight Control Registry. This is one of the most impressive research efforts that we talk about in the program. This is an ongoing study. It's been going on for decades, where they take people who have lost at least 30 pounds, a minimum of 30. 29, you're not in the registry. So some people have lost 150 pounds. And you have to be keeping it off for at least a year, a minimum of a year. So some people are keeping off big amounts of weight for 10 years or more. So that's how you get into the registry. And what they do is they review, as research does, like what are the elements that contribute to these people being so successful? And that's really what we want to talk about tonight, right, Nance?
That is. What
are the characteristics? And just to put some specific numbers, this particular sample of registry participants, we're keeping off. Are you guys ready for this? This is, if I could say this about one person, it would be mind-blowingly successful. It's about thousands of people. They were keeping off 72.6 pounds for over 5 years. Just let that sink in for a minute. To say that that's an unusual level of success so far underplays that achievement, and yet we're talking an average of thousands of people. That's what they were accomplishing. So there's probably something to learn here, would be sort of the idea. So we had posted earlier this week a thought starter for you guys to consider. And we're going to ask you the same question now. In the National Weight Control Registry, this analysis looked at the 6 most common strategies, behaviors, characteristics that they had in common to support this success. So Nance, I'm going to put up, I know you're on 10-second delay, I'm going to put up the post that we had presented where we gave the first 2 answers. Why did we give the first 2, Nance?
Well, because I think everybody would have just obviously known that they were, so.
Yeah, so we're talking about engaging. These aren't rank ordered, by the way. There are 6 of them, so they're not rank ordered. They're just all 6 were important. So engaging in high levels of physical activity. Is anyone thunderstruck by that? Probably not. Eating a diet that is low in calories and fat. So calories out, calories in, calories out. This is what we work on in the program. Probably not a huge epiphany for people as they hear that.
Right.
Yeah. So we gave you the first 2, but then we asked you what would be your guess for what one of the other 4 behaviors might be in this list of top 6 strategies that the registry participants had in common. So let's ask that question now, Nance.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
give you 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And what is at least one of the other 4? What would be your guess? Throw it down, jot it down, and then we'll see what you say, and then we'll start talking about what they are.
Yeah, and thank you for those of you who submitted answers during the week.
Yeah.
So think about it. People who are keeping off, on average now, thousands of people, 72.6 pounds for more than 5 years. What did they have in common in addition to high levels of exercise and eating a diet low in calories and fat? We're starting to sort of narrow down on the strategies here because those 2 are fairly broad. So what else would you say about that?
We're getting some comments here, and I must say, I think our group last week made a difference here. We've got 5 out of 6 right now are saying keeping records and tracking. So we made I think we made a point.
Yeah, psychology has a term for that, Nancy. It's called the recency effect. Now, what you've heard most recently is at the top of your mind. Well,
yeah, we're getting accountability. Support programs like this. That's very nice. We got shopping for fresh produce. We've got sleep.
All important. All
important.
Yeah. In fact, some of the responses we got during the week, Nancy, were they were all either directly correct They got them right, or indirectly correct. There wasn't one that you couldn't tie back to one of the 6 here. So I just wanted to reinforce that for
absolutely
Carla,
They're all on
Sandy,
track.
Susan, Suzanne, Louise, Patty, Crystal, Katie, all people who offered up their ideas during the week. Thank you for posting those. So, all right. Let me say this, Nancy, I thought this was an important thing to add. We're talking about 6 characteristics or behaviors that were necessary in terms of the commonality among the registry participants. Necessary doesn't necessarily mean sufficient. In other words, these 6 are hugely important, but that doesn't mean there's something else that could be seminal in supporting you to either lose weight quickly or manage that weight loss over time. That's not on the list. So it's not like this is the end-all be-all, but you probably want to take the experience of the registry participants, if you're not doing any of what we're about to talk about, and make some plans to start building that in as a skill in your life. I wanted to add that point in, Nance.
No, it's a very good point, because this isn't the be-all and end-all, but it is really interesting to see what these all have in common.
Yes.
So, shall we go ahead and
So
start? All right.
Yeah, so here's what we'll do. We're going to go through them quickly. All 6 of them. Nance, pepper it, all right? Because I want to make sure we come back to one in particular. We're going to spend some time on that one because we think it has immense practicality during the coronavirus for all of us.
Agreed.
Okay, so Nance, take us through it.
All right. Another one is eating breakfast. What would you say there, Rick?
Yes, let's make sure I forward the slides here. Okay, eating breakfast. Okay, 1 or 2 sentences on this. Well, we just heard that the registry participants, one of the huge things they had in common was that they eat a diet low in calories, low in fat. So, Nancy, are you comfortable saying that it's not a high-fat breakfast blowout here in terms of the quality of the breakfast? Eating a healthy breakfast. And then just one other quick point, Nance. You and I talked about this. When you hear breakfast, that's really sort of open to interpretation. So as you're listening here, some of you, that might mean getting up right in the morning and having something healthy to eat right off the bat. For people like Nancy and I, we just happen to share the idea. We like our coffee. Nancy, you like to exercise, and then you have sort of a later breakfast, right?
Right.
Yeah.
To start with, yeah.
Yeah. So
my breakfast is mid morning.
Yeah. So let's generalize this just a little bit. Let's call it getting a strong start to the day with food. Is that a fair enough sort of way to extend it out so that people can all apply it to their days?
With healthy food, absolutely.
Yes. A strong start, healthy start with food. So that's one of the traits for the registry. All right, Nancy, next one.
Okay, on the next one. Self-monitoring weight on a regular basis. And the time frame that was most commonly reported was every week.
All right, can we plain speak this? Getting on the scale. That's basically what it is.
Exactly.
Right? Self-monitoring, getting on the scale. That's what we're talking about. I mean, if you're trying to manage weight, you have to measure weight. I mean, it's a major aspect of any sort of business course. There's no management without measurement. So getting on the scale seems so easy, right? Oh, just get on the scale. Hey, just get on the scale. What about when it has been a bad week, Nance? What's your take on that?
Yeah, and by the way, I do want to say that we had 3 people who took the quiz ahead of time, did say weighing, but I just want to acknowledge that this can be a very emotional thing. It can be very difficult to do. It's great when you're losing weight every week. It's very reinforcing, but you can't lose weight every week for the rest of your life. It just doesn't happen. There's the ups and downs. So it's a real skill to be able to tolerate seeing the number on the scale, whether it's up, down, or even. So I want to acknowledge that, but it is something that it's important to learn over time.
Yeah, it's insidious because it can feel really bad knowing you've had a bad week to get on the scale, and it can actually feel like part of the solution to not get on the scale. Let me not get on it. I'll have a great week, and then next week will be just wonderful. But it's not really that way. Not getting on the scale more often, then that gives you a bit of a pass to not get a strong start to the week because you haven't just confronted it. So getting on the scale, huge thing. Next one, Nance.
Are you moving the PowerPoint, by the way, Rick?
No, I wasn't. Thank you for reminding me.
I thought so.
So getting on the scale.
The next one is maintaining a consistent eating pattern. In other words, having your weekends look more like your weekdays.
Yeah. One word comes to mind when I hear that one. routine. Routine or routines, plural. The idea of practicing healthy behaviors is hard. It requires a lot of problem solving. But if you do certain things enough, it becomes a routine. And it's almost like a shortcut to all the problem solving to pull off the behavior. So that one doesn't surprise me at all. Versus like I'm really on Monday through Friday and then I just, go to the races with the high calorie food on Saturday, Sunday, and then I have to make up. That's not what the registry participants do. They have a consistency across the week. So routines, we'll come back to that one, Nance.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the hardest skills to learn. So we'll get back to that one.
Yeah.
All right, and then the final one is catching weight slips in quotes before they turn into larger weight gains.
Yes.
So, Rick.
Yeah. So earlier, the one we just talked about was getting on the scale. But there's a next step, right? So you get on the scale, and then what do you do about it? Well, the most successful group of weight maintainers, big weight losses, right? Average 72 pounds over 5 years. What they do is they get on the scale and they use that feedback to do something. To me, the logic here is it's undeniable, Nance. It's if you tolerate the discomfort of getting on the scale, you actually put yourself in a position to catch a small weight gain before it becomes a big one. You basically put yourself in the driver's seat to get where you want to go, as opposed to if you're avoiding it, and big weight gains can almost feel like climbing Mount Everest.
Totally. And in fact, Rick, what I would say to that is I think everybody knows that you can gain 5 pounds. It feels like overnight, but losing that 5 pounds can take way longer than that. So if you can catch it at 3, 4, 5 pounds rather than 30, 40, or 50 pounds, it's just a much easier task. Yes. So you're not going to be able to do that if you're not getting on the scale.
Get on it every week without exception. Put yourself in a position to catch smaller gains before they become insurmountable big ones. There's so much wisdom in that. Maybe people, if they haven't been on the scale recently, and it's easy to do, right? It could feel like, I'll deal with it later. That's not on my plate right now. Put yourself more in the driver's seat. Put your hands on the controls of your weight management. Know what's happening with your weight. As uncomfortable as it is, in the broad picture, it's actually a huge part of the solution. Okay. Well, Nance, I'm putting up the slide that has all 6 of the behaviors. Here they are, the 2 obvious ones, the 2 related to the weight. We've got the breakfast, and then we've got this one about consistency. Oh, there's my dog. Wolfie, come here. Hey! He's deaf, sorry, I'm yelling. Nancy, let's come back to the one on consistency. Okay?
Right, yeah.
And the reason we thought this one would make sense to do a deeper dive on in our final 6.5 minutes, Nancy. That's enough time. We can do it.
We can do it.
Is because of how inconsistent the times we're living in are right now. If anything, our lives largely are defined by a lack of structure, a lack of consistency, and just change. I know, Nance, I go to when I go to the grocery store, my whole MO is different every time. First it was the plastic gloves, then it was the gloves with the dripping alcohol, and now I'm wearing a bandana, now I'm going at different times. It's inconsistent. So let's talk about consistency and the importance of having consistent routines in your life as part of getting through this period of time and keeping your forward progress going, whether it's weight loss or weight management. So the question here that we want to ask, let's generate some ideas, and this is where we're really asking our audience to start typing, right?
Yes, yes.
What is a healthy food routine that is working well for you? What is one that is really something you can either are relying on now, or, should we cast the net a little wider? One that, if people aren't on the top of their A game right now, and it's a routine that's worked for them in the past.
Absolutely, yes. What we're looking for are routines, food routines that are successful. Either you're doing now, or maybe they've fallen out, but they worked well for you for the past. Because really, Rick, what we want to do is get as many ideas as we can on the table, and then as always, we're hoping everyone here's of something, either that you make a decision to go back to a routine that used to work for you. So you use your old routine and bring it back in, or you pick up one here that you want to sample.
That's right. So 30 seconds right now. What is and we're talking food routines, okay? We're not talking exercise, we're talking food routines. The registry, it was consistency in their diet pattern. So what's a food routine that either is working for you right now? Healthy food routine helps you manage your calories to either lose weight or maintain your weight loss. And it can be what you're doing now, or it can be one from the past that might lead you to, as a function of this conversation right now, commit to bringing it back into your...
Okay, Rick, all right, we're getting some. Come on. All right. So Arlene's, I love my shakes with coffee in the morning, so there's a routine. But she says it's the evening that's hard. So if anyone's got any routines they do in the evening, let's put them down here.
Yes.
Mary's saying breakfast first thing. Andrea's got a smoothie that she likes, vanilla shake and frozen fruit. She also does that for breakfast. Melissa, eating shakes and meals at approximately the same time each day. So again, routine timing, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Kate, Alice, eating at least 7, oh boy, this is going so fast, I can't even catch them all. Eating at least 7 servings of fruits and vegetables. That's nice to have a goal of 7 of those.
I like that.
Shane, more in phase 1 right now, less thinking and shopping. So I'm guessing that means more shakes and entrees and fruits and vegetables.
Totally related.
Leslie, I plan menus for the week and prep ahead. Prepping ahead makes a huge difference for people. It's there. It's easy to grab. Kate, an HMR food for breakfast every day, all 7 days. So there's your consistency throughout the week. Either a coffee shake or a smoothie or an HMR cereal.
Yep.
Anyone got any night ideas here?
Any night ideas? A couple quick comments, Nance, based on some of the ones you just said. I think of my dear brother Bill, who's been with HMR as long as I have, 30 years, and his great line, it's, Ricky, I'm just in the box during the day. And he's in phase 2. But that's to Shane's point, bringing back phase 1 routines just to keep life simple, just to maybe earn whatever you're going to have for dinner. I love that one a lot. And I particularly like the more is better on the fruits and veggies, Nancy.
That's great.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm almost always in the box until I eat dinner.
Yeah.
Melissa, every night I have a shake or pudding at least 1 hour after dinner.
That's a good one. I love
Mary also has a shake in the evening.
Yeah. I'll even do the 70 pluses of cocoa in the evening, Nancy. I'll add
a hot beverage.
Hot beverage. I put an equal in it, and then I'll add a very small, this is important, a small amount of peppermint extract. Too much and it ruins it. But then sip that, and it gets you past those urge curves that we all can experience when you're thinking about other food. So there are a couple of evening strategies there, Nance.
Yeah, Rebecca's saying, when I crave dessert, I eat a bar. Nancy, puddings pre-made and already in the refrigerator. I have a decaf coffee shake. Shake before dinner is a great tactic. That does work really well.
Yeah.
Keeps you not from munching as you're making meals and helps with the after work craving before dinner. That's a great, and just kind of do it automatically. Don't even think about it, and then you avoid those cravings.
Yep.
I love it. There was a recipe on here sometime this week where someone, I can't remember who did it, so I apologize, but they sauteed a banana and an apple together with some cinnamon and some things, and then made a 70-plus pudding over it.
Fantastic.
And that is an amazing, find that recipe. That would be an amazing after dinner treat or anytime.
I'll throw a quick one out. Sliced apples with PB2 powder on it. I also throw an equal on it. Boy, talk about taking sweet apples and making it taste like a starch. Fantastic. Okay, Nance, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to cut you off in order for us to end on time. Sorry about that. Yes. So I want to make sure that we don't just leave this out there sort of in the theoretical.
Good idea.
Here's the question. We're introducing, again, the accountability spotlight. As you're listening to ideas, and maybe the conversation has got you thinking creatively about something else that wasn't mentioned here, you can say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to do such and such. And what we're talking about here is consistency, bringing more routines into your week. The registry participants did better with that. We'll all do better with more consistency in our healthy food choices. So, what's something that, don't just say it to yourself, share it.
Type it in.
Type it in. Take advantage of this community arena that we have right here. There's an additional accountability by speaking publicly about what you're going to do. And we'll follow up with you next week, or we'll give you the opportunity to say you did it or didn't next week. And that just inches you that much further to actually following through on what would ultimately just be a good idea if you left it in the thought phase. So say it to yourself, great. Write it down, document it, better. Post it to the group here. Join in and put yourself under the accountability spotlight. You'll only have a better week if you do it. So, Nance, let's just see if anyone takes on the challenge of the accountability spotlight for this week.
Yeah,
we're waiting. We need to have the Jeopardy. Is it Jeopardy? The song? That is Jeopardy. Okay.
Before Final Jeopardy?
Yes, yeah. Thank you.
I can't sing, so you shouldn't have asked me that.
Yeah, okay. Anyone want to take on a specific strategy in the spirit of building routines? Something that you maybe haven't been doing that would support you to better manage your calories and to practice healthier eating. You tell us.
So Kate's going to make a shake after dinner.
Nice.
Jennifer started doing some exercise. Jennifer, do you want to add in a food idea? We're getting a lot of exercise too. Nancy, I'm going to have a shake before dinner. That's great. That will help control my portion sizes during.
You'll still enjoy the dinner. You'll still enjoy the dinner, but you'll have fewer calories. Yeah.
Yeah. Shane's going to do the record keeping. Great. It's challenging. I hear you, but it's, if you keep trying, you'll figure it out. Maybe some reminders on your phone or something. Yeah. Arlene, and when I feel the need to feed, I'll do a decaf coffee shake. Great.
Excellent.
Yeah, make it, even if you don't need it, you can save it. I wouldn't even just wait till you think you need it, Arlene. Just try it. Just try it.
Great.
Sandy's going to track. I love this. 7 out of 7 days. Mary's going to try a new dessert recipe. So we're getting some really nice
beautiful
next steps here.
Great. Love it. Don't forget the resources available to you. We just touched on the tip of the iceberg here. All right, yes. Nancy, we committed to giving people more of their Thursday night back, yes?
Yes, okay. Absolutely.
We failed on doing this in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah, we came pretty darn close, though.
We came close, so I'm going to wrap it up right now because I'd like to approximate closer to that the brass ring of 30 minutes or less. And also, by the way, give us some feedback. We're thinking 30 minutes would be enough time for us to get the job done here. If you think it should be more or less, give us some feedback. We'd love to hear your opinions about that. So anyway, just as life is unfolding around us and as things are continuing to change, there are lots of opportunities for every one of us to go off track. That's the nature of the environment in general, but especially now with everyone being quarantined, etc. So stay connected to the program this week. A lot of you talked about the record keeping, so the day-to-day momentary tie back to the program and to your goals. That's what the record keeping does. It recommits you in the moment, tells you I'm doing something positive for myself right here, and you can add it to all the other successful things you've done in the week. The record keeping is a foundational behavior. On top of that, Nance, the online community. How impressed are we with this HMR diet support community? Wow.
I am, we have at this point almost 1,900 members, and we have such wonderful support going on. I love seeing someone has a question, so many people respond with support. There are so many recipes being shared. So again, look it over. And the other thing, we also have the HMR coaches. We haven't, some of our coaches are doing an excellent job also being available and, really providing other information when it's needed. So keep it up.
Yeah.
Helping everybody.
A lot of strategies, a lot of how-tos, and a lot of inspiration. There are some amazing stories of people sharing what's going on in their life with their healthy lifestyles and their achievements along the way in the program. So please take advantage of all of those resources. And as always, guys, thank you so much for spending some of your night with us. Thank you for watching. And we hope to see you next week. Right, Nance?
Yes, have a good week, and we look forward to spending time with you again next week.
That's right. Okay, same time, same place. See you then. Signing off.
Bye.